some folks in a startup mode, people who want to
Mm,
start a business or have
yeah.
a fairly young business and shaping the culture. They may have a lot of good intentions, but they're, busy knocking down the boxes in the back and scrambling for business and all those things. Do you have any advice for them on how to weave diversity into their culture? It's one thing when somebody says, "Oh, we want to have 20% of people of color represented in our business," but there are only three people in the business. So how do you get 20%? And that can sort of be an arbitrary target too, because I don't know that it needs to be a special number as much as a voice that's respected and heard, whether that is a 10% or 50 or 75%, but being open to what you said earlier about those different perspectives and capturing some of the good things that brings to the table. What can an entrepreneur or somebody in a startup business do to encourage the type of culture that we aspire to?
Yeah, I think that's such a great question, Hannah. And I think what I want to point out is that there are so many people who have an involvement in any business, whether, it's an entrepreneur of one or whether it's a Fortune 500 company. There are so many people involved. And what I mean by that is there's not just the person who's forming that startup or hustling for their own business. There's all of the vendors that person engages with and interacts with, all of the businesses that they utilize in order to support their business. There are the customers that they're serving, right? And so I think thinking broadly, like whether you can be a business that serves people in a diverse way and have two, you have two non-diverse, corporate founders or whatever. Like it's not just about who is in the room and at the decision-making table, although I did use that example earlier. It's also about okay, well, what contractors are you using? Who are the people that you're outsourcing work to? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to solely utilize minority businesses to do that. But I think there is a richness that comes from having a diversity of vendors that you work with and a diversity of perspectives, or if you're bringing on outside consultants, thinking about that, or